Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new beautiful Peugeot 3008 GT Pack, gorgeous red color with black combo. So this is the plug-in hybrid version with 300 horsepower. We have the 1.6 PureTech with 200 horsepower, petrol and additional 2 electric motors which are software limited and have another additional 100 horsepower, combined 300 horsepower. Now we can turn on the LED headlights for you with a remote. If you unlock the car, you can also see the Peugeot light down there. And we're sitting on 19-inch alloys, winter tires, Continental. And this is the rear look. Let's check the cargo space. So we have 300-ish liters and 1,300-ish. When you knock down the seats, I'm gonna type it below. Fairly okay illumination inside, so if you push this you can see better and stuff like that. So let's close it up and you can see everything in detail in the reviews. Let's jump inside and start driving. And now as mentioned, this is the plug-in hybrid. So we have a smaller battery with 13 kilowatts, 13 kilowatt hours, a little bit more, but the net is around 13, which gives you 55 to 64 kilometers of VLTP range. In reality, especially in winter, that's a little bit less. I haven't charged the car. It takes 2 to 3 hours because last night the charging station was occupied and someone removed the Type 2 cable for the public charging stations, so I didn't want to come back later and plug it in, because you have the option to charge it with the petrol engine, but then your fuel consumption goes high. Turning on the car, seatbelt on, safety first as always. Let's test out the focal speakers, which are quite nice. I can just play a short demo not to get a copyright strike. Now I can't play it for too long, but I gotta say it has a very clear sound, no rattling through the speakers, very good bass. I mean, you can set that everything up in the main infotainment. Now some of you I would also like to see the Apple CarPlay, so let me just plug it in. So there we go. And while I'm at it, just to show you here, if you put the phone down there, you can see it flashes green, but it's hooked up to the cable, so it's not charging because it's charging via the cable. Apple CarPlay. So there might be a too much brightness here, but you can see that it looks very nice and works quite nice. But I'm gonna stick to the Peugeot original maps there. Just wanted to show you that as a demo. And I'll unplug this and I'll just leave my phone here to charge up like that. Now you can see the little green light. Okay, now just gonna lower the temperature here because I'm in my jacket, and okay, I think this should be fine. You can always press 3 fingers here and then have these shortcuts. And I think I'm gonna put this water bottle down there. Okay, let's just start driving. You have to press the little unlock, then you can just push it towards yourself, and away we go. The car has excellent turning angle. You can do like a little hatchback, like a full U-turn. So excellent. Now you can see here I'm driving in D on the top. I'm going to pull the lever towards myself. Now it says B. Now this is the recuperation mode, in which I like to drive, because then I can drive almost one pedal. Okay, so let's talk about the impressions. Comfort, speed bumps here. If you're gentle, you don't feel a lot, but these are 19-inch wheels, less tires, so you feel more road bumps, manholes in uneven parts of the road. It's not terrible, but it's not too great either. It's somewhere in between, I would say. I would personally put a smaller dimension and have more tire, more comfort. Handling, the car is quite tall. It's an SUV. It's a mid-size SUV. It's not a large SUV, but still there's a little bit leaning if you're going harsh in the corners. This is an all-wheel drive, so there's no back end slipping, or your back end doesn't slide or similar. Now the steering wheel is progressive, and it depends on the driving modes. Here I'm currently I was in hybrid. I can put it to sport or four-wheel drive or just fully electric. In sport, it gives you more feedback. In the hybrid, it's more light, and of course the engine also performs different in the sport. It's more noisier, and it's the most noisy in the mode. There's a little button here that gives you an option, so you can see here the flow of the energy. There's also something called e-save, so this allows you to charge the battery with your petrol engine. So let's just turn it on. So in this case, the engine is the most noisiest. You can put it to charge up 10 kilometers of range, 20 or maximum. Now I've been using this today because I didn't have time to plug it in on a charging station, and it gave me some range around 20 kilometers, but it's okay. But the fuel amount that you're spending is not okay, so this kind of defeats the purpose. I think this is really not that practical. You can see now we're using the engine to feed the battery or charge the battery, especially when I let go and we're recuperating. Now if I switch to the hybrid, you might see here the little picture. Now we're only using the rear. We're recuperating with the rear motor. So there's two electric motors. We were using the rear one now. Now in the fully electric, now this is a center light, so I was just gonna told you, switch on green. Now we're using both electric motors. When you're punching it, it uses both, and then it shuts off at the front and it uses only the rear one. But it's interesting, it's recuperating only with the rear one. So interesting how Peugeot engineers, French engineers, decided to program this. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the hybrid. Now, I personally love electric cars. I like the silent driving. I like the comfort of the instant torque, the nice smooth acceleration. But what I realized, plug-in hybrid cars, they're cool, but there's a catch. They're intended for the people who have homes, who have a house, who have a garage, or at least an open space around your house where you can just use your Schuko and charge your car overnight, because it really makes no sense to have a wall box to charge your plug-in hybrid. Just, you can rely on the Schuko overnight, you would have full battery. And if you're relying on public charging stations, you have a small battery and it takes 2 to 3 hours to charge it, depending. If it's colder, it's longer, and it really makes no sense for you to keep waiting for the small battery to charge, because you're not going to be shopping every day more than 2 hours. So sometimes, yes, you can go, maybe if you're in Europe, in Croatia, we have a mentality to just go socialize, drink a coffee, and you leave it in the city. You don't have to pay for the parking because you're charging. But another problem, people charge their car and they don't move it, and they're blocking other people, especially those who have full electric cars. So Audi CEO said that plug-in hybrids makes no sense, they're going to stop producing them. And this is the same reason, because if you're not charging this battery at home, if you're living in a condo or an apartment building, you are dragging a heavy empty battery, and your fuel consumption won't be low if you're driving hybrid with a full battery. And if you're using this e-save e-save mode, which burns fuel to charge your battery, you have a quite substantial fuel consumption. This is the average consumption that I haven't reset when I got the car, 9.4 liters, and I was driving very light today. And this is the trip 2, 10 liters. That really makes no sense. So I don't have a time to charge the car to do a full consumption test on this one and see how much you can drive with the battery. I believe if you're gentle, you can get something a little bit better than VLTP when it's warm. But again, if you're looking at a plug-in hybrid, know that you need to have a house or a garage where you can just plug your car if you're in a condo. With that out of the way, I like plug-in hybrid. Again, you can drive electric when you're in the city. You have a decent range for short distance driving if you're not commuting too long, and it's nice, it's relaxing, it's practical, again, if you have the full battery. Now this car has both worlds, so we're gonna come to the highway now. Okay, I'm gonna hit this manhole, so you can feel those, but mention that we're gonna come to the highway, do a little not a launch, but we're gonna speed up to 150 because it's here legal in Croatia, at least on the highway. And just to show you, this car can punch it. It speeds up. 300 horsepower is more than enough for this SUV. And I gotta add that despite being a tall, boxy size car, it has a decent soundproof. It's not too loud at 130 kilometers per hour. 150 you can then start to hear a little bit more noise, but it is very, very good. I'm gonna be a little quiet just for short now. You can hear some sounds of the car, but you can see a day point of view driving with no talking. Separate video on the channel. Actually, let's see that energy flow. Metal to the pedal. But traffic I have to let go. Now that bus is speeding a little bit. Okay, we're gonna make some room here. Now there is an option to switch the screen off. This is more for cleaning, but if you want to have this minimal, we can have that. Now cruise control works very easy. You can control the distance. You have a speed limiter. You can set your speed. When you set your speed, then the lane assist activates. So if you're going to go sideways, it's just going to correct you. Okay, cruise control off. Let's punch it here. All the way. And there we go. You're already at 150. It's an EP car. And I was in hybrid. Let's try it in sport. It's also very loud. There's a lane departure warning, but again, when you turn on the back in hybrid, when you turn on the cruise control, then I keep mixing up the buttons. And then you're centered in the lane. Now you can change these layouts. Not that, this one. You can have here personal. And you can change these in the main infotainment. If you check my full review, you can have this minimum display, which is quite nice. You can have the energy, where you can see the energy flow, the battery. You can have the classical dials. In this one you can see the little steering wheel that's green next to the speed. In that case it means that it's holding the lane. Now there's no one. See, just pushes you back in the middle and keeps you in the middle. It doesn't bounce you like a ping pong left and right like some other brands. And you have here the driving. This one shows you the distance that you're in the lane, and you have the navigation. And I think I prefer the navigation in that one rather than this one, but you can have here radio. Oops, I don't know why they wanted to pull me to the side there. It's kind of odd. Okay, little speaker just at the speed. So the speakers are really, really nice. Focal speakers are excellent. You can dampen the sound of the cabin noise. Now, have in mind, I'm gonna cancel my cruise now. Have in mind that we're on winter tires, and at this route where I'm using, the tarmac is a little bit rougher. Excellent, not too much leaning. And my day point of view driving, tarmac is more smoother. So, and also have in mind, my regular audience knows this by now, but if you're new to the channel, GoPro doesn't have an excellent mic, so it picks up a lot of noise. In reality, it's less noisy than what you hear. I would use an external mic, but unfortunately GoPro has this very bad policy that they want you to buy a very expensive adapter that I just refuse. You just can't plug it in into the camera. Another detail here, so when I'm cruise, okay, now my speedo went blue because it's, I don't know, I think, yeah, we're driving hybrid now if I'm not mistaken, and I like that detail. It's quite nice. You can use the little lever to add the limiter. So for example, here's 80 speed limit. That means 10% is 88, and I can drive 88. so limiter active. So if I now punch the throttle, it's gonna keep it to 88 max or 87, but now you're safe. If there's a police up ahead with a radar, you won't get fined, so it's quite practical. Overview inside the car is excellent for the mirrors on the rear. Inside interior is excellent. The infotainment is a little bit outdated. They're going to upgrade it in the next year or two. If you want to see the new 308, which has a new infotainment, check out my channel. There's full review of both models, of the regular and the station wagon version. And back to this car. Excellent interior, really nice details in the GT, especially the suede ambient lights. I wish there were ambient lights over here as well, but and I like the light and dark combo, so it kind of opens up the interior. Back space not great because of the seats are kind of tall, and for a tall person such as myself on the rear, it's not so roomy, especially not with this panoramic roof, which is really nice, but just have in mind, if you have some tall kids that are basketball players, this car is not for you. But I advise you get the next model, the bigger one. We're gonna do a little LED headlights test. Now I noticed in Peugeot that the LED headlights are very bright, and they're blinding other people, especially if you're in an SUV, which is quite annoying. I had that a lot. And not even the auto dimming doesn't help in that case. Yeah, which is good for you, but not for the other drivers. Now a little critic. This car unfortunately doesn't have the auto hold, so it means when you stop on the traffic light, you have to hold your foot on the brake. You can lift it off. Wish they added that in the future. Now I'm driving an electric. It's very nice. Now this car has 0 to 100 official time 6.1 seconds, which would be really fun for an SUV. Top speed is 240 kilometers, which we can only legally do in Germany on Autobahn, certain patches of the road, or in Croatia, so that is out of the option. And you can see my battery is almost at 0, and at any point it's going to just fire up the petrol engine, so might as well just switch to sport. Now lights are on automatic, but it seems that they've changed the lights here. Regular audience knows sometimes there was a patch of black, but don't worry, we're gonna get to off now. Okay, we're stopping here. Let me just put it to a different let's see, dials. Holding the brake, we're gonna punch it here, see there's safe, no one in front or behind us. Whoa, so the hazards were like really flashing faster. That's cool. That's for like emergency braking. If you're driving on the highway, there's a jam or something, you really need to slow down. It warns other drivers, so that's excellent feature. That's standard. That felt maybe around 6 seconds. I haven't did these too often recently, but definitely around 6 seconds is quite fun for an SUV. Most SUVs are just way slower. So this is the part where we're gonna test the LED headlights just to pass this car. There's a storage unit, so occasional traffic there. Okay, so see the long beam switched off. If I move the steering wheel, you can see the light on the side, so we have cornering fog lights there. Okay, so this is the GoPro 9. I haven't upgraded to 10, and it has a smaller light sensor. So I'm gonna take my iPhone 13 Pro, snap some night photos with the night mode, which is more accurate to what you see in person. So this is the iPhone camera, this is the short beam, long beam. In person I can see a lot, it's good. And I'm gonna snap some photos. Continuing on, if we speed up past 30 or 25, long beam automatically turns on if necessary, and then if we stop, switches off at 15 kilometers or so. And again in the corner, have the cornering lights. Another feature I miss on my Tesla, I have that on my Skoda, but I think that's a feature that should be definitely standard on all cars. Now this car just speeds up with such an ease when you have electric motors. Okay, some of you will be asking, hey, why didn't you show the navigation? So we'll show it because we're coming to the end of our video. Okay, let's show you the stock navigation, or the built-in navigation. Search on the bottom. Where's the M? Not France, I want Croatia. Why is it? Let me see here. It's nice they have a space in the middle. Let me check here. What? It's ridiculous. Okay. Didn't expect that. And all the other cars, same brand, it just worked perfectly. Well, let's see if we can use the voice command.
To begin, say a command after the tone.
Navigate to Zagreb Avenue Mall.
Sorry, for this country, it's not possible to add destinations by voice.
That's such discriminating. Well, that's disappointing. Let me see if I can, okay, I want to go here, to this parking lot, or parking garage. Okay. Okay, a little workaround, and let me just show you the map in the main screen as well. Someone's gonna say, oh, you didn't show it in this one. The middle one.
After 400 meters, cross the roundabout, second exit.
Now, it's like most of the cars, not updated. It doesn't know there's a tunnel, which is 2 or 3 years new now.
Cross the roundabout, second exit.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of the video, and we're gonna summon up my impressions. So just a moment for a nice thumbnail. Okay, so to sum it up, car is excellent. It's nice, posh inside, premium feeling. It handles well on the road, has excellent speed, it's very punchy, it's practical, but again, if you have a house, or just doesn't matter if it's a house, if you have a garage or someplace you can charge it, if you can charge this at work, that will work for you okay as well. I forgot to mention that. But the car is overall excellent, feels excellent on the road. It's a very nice SUV, and I would recommend this if you are a Peugeot fan, or if you like the design, if you're looking into this type of a car. So I've turned on the charging with the petrol engine. I don't know if you can notice, engine is a bit noisier. Just checking that consumption. Oh, it's fallen to 8.8. I guess my good driving. All that was okay. I did one lunch for you, but now, to be honest, I think you can get great consumption if you're driving hybrid with a full battery, and that's the point of this car, having a charged battery. But overall, excellent car. I don't have anything else to add.
After 400 meters, bear right.
Cons, I would say there aren't too many. The only con is if you don't have, or you don't charge the battery, then this car makes no sense. Inside, I wish it had ambient lights on the rear. It's just kind of my personal taste.
Then, after 60 meters, you have reached your destination on your left.
Thank you. That was kind of very long.
You have reached your destination on your left.
Okay. But overall, excellent car, excellent handling, excellent performance, very comfortable and posh. Now we're gonna end it in the garage, just so you can see a little bit when there's more light. That's why I like to end it here, sort of driving from point A to point B. Every car the same, so you can compare other cars if you're interested. COVID situation, I use it like this instead of my finger. I guess it's a bit safer, although I'm not really that concerned, to be honest. Not that I'm saying that COVID is not a thing, but it is, but just if you've had lower symptoms, you got some sort of natural immunity, or if you haven't, you can get a shot with the vaccine, get an artificial immunity booster, and you're all good. Hopefully this will end in the near future. Now I usually come up here later, and the reason for this is it's a lot easier to find a parking space, but the lights are usually switched off, so I'm gonna go to a lower level. Okay, maybe no need. There's a nice free space here. Reverse camera, quite disappointing. It's just blurry. Just 2021 or almost 2022, that's just not acceptable. I'm a classical guy. I like to use mirrors, but when you're reversing, camera comes in handy. And another detail I don't like, you can press this, you just have to hold it in, and then it switches off. And another detail before I end the video, a pro of this car is that since it has electric motors and the battery, you can preheat the car in the winter, and come into a nice warm car, or in summer you can cool it off and come into a nice cold car. And that was it. Just another look at this gorgeous color. Technical details, price is in the video description. Lock it up. So everyone, if you like the video, be a cool person, smash the like button, leave your comments below. How do you like the new 3008? And if you have any questions, type them below. I'm gonna try to answer them. I might not answer it momentarily because I have a lot of work doing these videos, but be patient, I'll answer. And as always, stay safe on the road and at home. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.